has anyone here used poetry, music, stage plays in a campaign? Would you want to share how that worked? That's open to you. Click on the hand icon, share a chat message. If you have used these three during a campaign, it could be a restaurant campaign or any campaign, and you wish to share with us, feel free. Okay. You can as well share your feedback in the chat session. And then also one of the questions that came out is how we can do joint promotions. So if we also have any individuals or organizations within the same region of Africa who have worked together on certain projects, and you feel like you want to share how you organize this kind of collaboration, it is okay. Like I said, today's session is all about sharing, discussing, and comparing notes. So what do you think of how we can work together? You know, like I said, during the 6th webinar, we're going to have like similar artwork. We can think about, you know, having promos that cut across videos or blogs. And as fellow, you can share this with your fellow participants. For example, our WhatsApp group will remain open so that we can effectively use this for joint promotion. So I don't know if there is anyone I would like to share about these kinds of joint promotions. You're also welcome. At any time, even during my presentation, and you feel there's something you want to say, feel free to interrupt by clicking on the hand icon. So when I see your hand raised, Melanie will unmute you, and then you can go ahead and give in your contribution. Also, feel free during my presentation to post in the chat if there's something you want to say or you want to contribute. So, Africa Vegan Restaurant Week. This is also a suggestion that came from you. Someone was suggesting this is also an opportunity for culinary tourism, but this time, vegan food tourism. So I don't know what you think. Like I said, this was an idea from you, you know. So if that's so you want to share more about it, if you thought about it from the previous webinar and you feel there's something you want to say, you can as well do it. But personally, I think this is amazing, an amazing opportunity for anyone to know that this is the kind of food I can find in African country A, B, C, D. You know, if I'm traveling within any African country, I can find this. And this website, our website, will be accessible globally. So that means anyone coming to any African country can still access our food. So depending on how our food will look amazing and how we shall promote it and showcase it out there during the Africa Vegan Restaurant Week, it means there are chances of promoting the vegan food tourism from different parts of the world and also different parts of Africa. And there's also was an idea of regional collaboration. So I don't know if anyone has done it again. Like I said, for example, if countries like Ghana and Nigeria, there are traditions that are shared. There are certain foods that cut across. For example, here, I come from East Africa. In Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, there are some traditions that cut across. There's some foods that you can easily find in the three countries. So if we can, as participants from like Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, if we can see how we can work together and maybe do a regional collaboration, if people from South Africa, from North Africa, Central Africa, I'm not saying this is not something that it came from us as a ProVeg grants program, but it came from you. So you can, as participants, you can always find a way of making this come to a reality. And I'm always available to offer any strategic guidance in case you need it. The idea is to make sure that different countries in Africa are participating remotely, and it's a joint promotion of the first ever Africa Vegan Restaurant Week. So we are back to it. Any questions?
So we have some comments in the chat. So yeah, I encourage you all to go through the chat because there is some Q&A going on, especially about the grants, but we can also go into some ideas or people share like their expertise in this field. Like, for example, there is Sefilepelo Sebata, who is talking about how to use poetry. I don't know if you want to like explain it yourself. I can unmute you if you want. Or if I just read it, I can also read it out loud if you prefer that. But you are unmuted if you want to share with the others.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay. When it comes to art, we are an arts-based organization, and most of our work that we do, we try to infuse art. So you'd find, for example, if you want people to learn about maybe pawpaws or fruits, for them to eat fruits, you can have an artist painting the fruits while people are testing the fruits. It's just an interactive way of encouraging people to participate in whatever program you'll be doing. So you can just think out of the box in terms of elements, using elements of different art. It can be music, it can be poetry, it can be film, whatever you think about. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll go to the next one. So there is Nathan Leonard who asks if we have any idea if it's better to conduct an event at a particular restaurant or if we should set up a booth at public grounds. What is working better? So I don't know if anyone has a comment on this.
If anyone has a comment on this and wishes to share an experience, feel free as well. But firstly, let me also share my experience. We've done Veg Fest and Restaurant Week, and we've done mainly at particular restaurants, or and these particular restaurants, like especially those that have like big grounds where you can set up outdoor, and also there are those that you can also do it indoors. So this is up to you. If you want to use public grounds, that's fine. If you want to work with a restaurant, that's also fine. But working with restaurants, it's usually tricky because it's competition. So if the fact that it's a vegan restaurant week, meaning other restaurants are going to come and set up their mini restaurants at their restaurant. So you must have an MOU that clearly states that the owner of the restaurant is willing to let other restaurants set up. But it actually also works, and it's better because in case you have less participating restaurants, there is already a restaurant on ground. And most of the times when it's being hosted at that restaurant, they will go out of the way to make sure it is a success. They've set up several different food points to make sure that the people that come have enough vegan food options. So it works both ways. You just have to understand your audience. You just have to understand your kind of region. The people you're targeting, do they prefer to come to open grounds for an event, or do they prefer to go to a certain restaurant? So that is up to you, but so you have, to weigh your option and find out how it's going to work in your favor. Thank you for that question. I see Adebayo's arm is up.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My question is, what about, like, for example, now I'm in a remote area somewhere in Ogun State where a religious organization is trying to have their anniversary, whereby I'm failing to sell the idea of living an healthy life through veganism to them. And the question they keep asking me is, how do they continue to sustain this kind of lifestyle? Although we do a series of educative sessions with them, We have had instances where we have brought people here to talk to them. We have told them the kind of things to take, the kind of lifestyle to live. But I think so many of them are still not okay. I mean, they're still not convinced with the kind of lifestyle, because some of them they are sometimes afraid because of stigmatization. You know, this kind of environment, people tend to eat more of animals, they tend to consume more of dairy things. But then, you know, living a lifestyle, a veganism lifestyle, or an healthy lifestyle to them seems foreign. To them, some of them feel that it's an idea the white people are trying to inculcate onto the probably form of neocolonialism, which we have told them it is not. But for some of them who have tried to embrace the lifestyle, they have become our ambassadors, sort of, and have spoken to their, have been to their monarch here, have spoken to them. They are even willing to accommodate us when we come back again. So the idea is, how do they find relationships with other people? Can we show them example of people who have embraced this lifestyle, which we have done? Also, some of them are naive, I guess, but we will still need some forms of materials. Like you said, some people will not want to come to the open and disclose their ideologies concerning this kind of lifestyle. Some will prefer to stay in their confines and continue living the lifestyle. To some, they believe that if they disclose their identity as per their kind of living, people will stigmatize them, which we have told them it is not. So the challenge now is that how do they come to the open and get accepted? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Adebayo. Does anyone want to respond if you've done vegan advocacy? You can click on the hand icon and respond how it's worked out for you.
Sorry, one more thing. Can I have this? Can I quickly add this? Hello?
Yes. Is it possible for you to talk a bit away from your microphone so that we hear you clearly?
Okay, what about now?
That's perfect.
Can you hear me now? Now,
yeah.
In one of my encounters, I got involved with some of the schools, and I encountered two pupils who in their lifetime had never tasted meat, nor egg, nor any dairies. In fact, one of the boys he is about 6 years old. During our school outreach program, he came to me and said he would want me to talk to his parents, because the parents most times chastise him for not wanting to take meat nor egg. But at some point, they seem to be getting his views as regards veganism, because they don't even know the kind of lifestyle the boy is adopting, until I got to their house through the owner of their school and spoke with the parents. As I speak with you, the kind of meals the boy takes now is different from the families. So how can we help this kind of children going forward? Thank you.
Thank you so much. As we wait for anyone to, Fashola. Fashola, please unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So we're based in Lagos, Nigeria as well. I think to directly address Adebayo's point. So I think what we're finding is the key is just education and awareness, right? So what we're trying to do is just make sure we educate people on the benefits, as well as bringing in professionals, so professionals across the health space in terms of nutritionists, doctors, as well as across the fitness space, right? So that way, people can understand the benefits of living a plant-based or vegan lifestyle, not just from the campaigner's perspective, right? Because I think, the question, the issue is that we find is due to, the perception of what people think. But I think what happens is when you bring in professionals that can back, what you're saying with very clear information and very clear statistics, then people are much more open, as well as showcasing food with food samples. So we do a lot of sampling events where people can try different options, as well as educating people. So I think that generally helps people understand as well as be more open to trying out these things. And I think the other thing is patience. You're asking people to change their lifestyle that they've had for 40, 50, 60 years sometimes. So it takes, patience in terms of, re-educating people and giving them more options in reality.
Right. Thank you so much, Fashola. Honestly, I cannot add on anything. That's perfect. I don't know if there's anyone that also wishes to share how they've been able to break the barriers. Feel free to click on the hand icon and then we'll unmute you and you're able to share. Let me share my personal experience. I come from a part of the country where we are cattle keepers. So when you say don't drink milk, like you're more or less like an outcast, In fact, growing up, I remember my elder brother and elder sister used not to eat meat. So our parents had to, to go out there and find them medicine for being, not able to eat meat and all that. And then with time, they started eating it. And because like culturally, that's accepted. So what I'm saying is that what you're passing through, like it's everywhere, almost in every country, but we have to break these barriers, talk about the benefits, and also talk about why it's important. Compassion towards animals, health benefits, and also the environment. So thank you so much. Any other question, any other contribution?
In the chat, Praise is asking if there is other participants in the country who want to work together. So I think that's a very valuable question relating to one of the slides Nabasa shared. So I don't have a particular idea in mind how we can bring you together, but if anyone has an idea, please come forward with it. And I think you can, of course, in the chat, put your name and country and ask for other people here who want to work with you, and you can like exchange email addresses or whatever you feel like sharing to even connect with each other after this webinar. So Praise, I don't know what country you're from, but you can maybe add that in the chat. And if anyone is here who wants to work with Praise, please connect. And of course, we also have it's Nigeria. So we also have the WhatsApp group. This group will be open and stay open, and that's also a way to connect with each other and see what people are doing, what kind of campaigns, and maybe you can maybe not even in the country, but maybe also neighboring countries could learn from each other and even work together.
Thank you, Melanie. I can see more hands up. Nathan? Nathan?
Yes, my contribution goes to how you can break the barrier in addition to what you said. For example, in Tanzania, mainly it depends on the dimension you're working with, but working on the libertarian and health benefit of veganism has been the good way to reach more, I can say, community, but also targeting different groups of people. For example, right now in country, it's like the government has been like putting an emphasis on the nutritional program and how growing children can be healthy. And of course, the health ministry has been struggling with how to reduce the non-communicable diseases in the community, and most of them being contributed by the lifestyle and eating consumption habits. So working on the vegetarian, you said that you reduce consumption of animal-based products, while increasing the quantity of plant-based product, but at the same time just putting stress on the health benefit of consuming plant-based diet, it gives you more mileage, and and impress the community to just listen to you and want to hear about your work more and more, rather than just cutting off, say, you stop this, you stop this, you stop this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nathan. Musa, Francis, you have something to say?
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I just want to share a little bit of my.
Musa, please go ahead and contribute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I just have some little contributions to make on my own side. Right, I don't know if it's okay for me to start from our last meeting, since I ran into a little bit of technical issue and I had some contribution to make then. So I'm finished with what we're talking about today. So
Musa, I think you're not very clear.
Okay. Hello. Hello, is that better?
There's a bit of echo and background noise from your side.
Okay, is it better now?
There's an echo.
Hello.
Would you want to post in the chat section instead?
Okay, I'll do the chat.
Good, thank you. Francis, do you still have something to say, or you've not put your hand down yet? Oh.
So, and in the chat, Linda is asking to Sebata where you are from, if you are by any chance from Zimbabwe, because yeah, Linda seems to like to work with you or like reach out to you.
Asking about who? Oh,
Sebata.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I think, Sebata, you can respond directly through the chat section, if it's okay with you.
Okay, so also from Zimbabwe. So yeah, you can, if you would like to exchange contact information, you can see how you can work together. There's also a contact information from Fashola in Nigeria. So everyone based in Nigeria who wants to connect has the email address in the chats.
I can see Praise asking, is it possible for another participant in my country to work together? I think it's okay, you're better together. So that's okay. You just need to find out which other participants are from your country and you work out modalities of how to work together. Praise, I didn't know if I've understood your question. Are we getting sponsors? That is up to you. If you're a successful grantee, you receive funds of up to $5,000, but feel free to get other partners and sponsors. And this is one of the things we discussed in one of our previous webinars. You can always check out one of the recordings. If you received today's newsletter, you can see a list of recordings and find out how to outsource different sponsors. Let me give a small example about this. For example, if media, they don't usually give monetary support, but then you need to promote your event. Those are some sponsors you can look out for. If there's you want to host your event at public grounds or at a certain hotel, of course you are supposed to pay, but you can ask for free venue, and that's also, those are some of the partners sponsorship, or you can have like a cost share. So it is up to you to look for sponsors, but it's better because your event needs to be welcomed at home. So the more you work with reputable organizations, the better for you, Great. Thank you so much for that question. Any other question? Feel free to click the hand icon, post in the chat, and we'll respond accordingly. Oh, yes, Jessica.
Hi, Navasa. I've been getting a few grant-related questions, so I thought I would just share it with everyone in case it's useful. So the first question is if your campaign is more expensive than $5,000. So our grants only go up to $5,000, but if you have more expenses than that, then we would encourage you to apply for other grant opportunities or find other sponsors and so forth. The other question is that if you could apply for multiple projects for the grant, and yes, this is possible too. So you could apply for the Vegan Restaurant Week and then also another project that you're doing. You can just include that on the same grant application, and that's fine. And then I also had questions about countries and which countries are eligible, and every country in the world is eligible to apply. So any of your countries are perfectly fine.
Thanks, Jessica. Any other question? Any other contribution? Like I say, this is a sharing session. Do you have any ideas that you want to share with us? How best we can have this executed? This is the opportunity. Francis from Nigeria, he says, I really support the idea of working together. We shouldn't limit this to our countries. I was going to add, if that's okay, that we make full collaborations. I understand there are many international restaurants, so we should also see if we can work with more collaboratively. That's a very amazing idea, Francis. And indeed, we shouldn't limit ourselves. You know, let's be extensive as much as possible. If there are restaurants that are working in multiple countries within Africa, that's an opportunity that also promotes collaborations. Thank you so much, Francis, for that idea. I think, Jessica, there's a question for you from Saline Akoth. Do the grants support animal welfare advocacy?
Yeah, so our grants are only open to vegan advocacy and any type of vegan work, public advocacy, or working with restaurants, anything that aims to eliminate and reduce the consumption of animals. So unfortunately, animal welfare projects aren't eligible for this grant.
Great. Thank you, Jessica. Let me see if I'm seeing another question.
There is Vincent who says that, yeah, they have like a grant for now, but they need more funding to host the restaurant week. So yeah, I think as Jessica already explained, you can apply for the grant for either a restaurant week or another campaign. So yeah, you can see everything on the website, like the application. And you can, of course, like also reach out to us if you have more questions.
And Vincent, I think that you currently have a grant and it's not finished yet. So you can also, we're making an exception, and if you currently have a grant, you can still apply for a new grant for the restaurant week, if you would like to do that. Typically we don't do that, but we're making an exception for this time. So Vincent, you can apply for a second grant.
Thank you. And I think that was going to you, Vincent. Okay. Any more questions? We still have about 13 minutes for us to close this session. Saline still has a question. So can animal welfare organization that aims to support veganism be eligible? If an animal welfare organization that aims to support veganism is eligible? Over to you, Jessica.
Yeah, so then you can apply if you're an animal welfare organization. This is fine. We just don't cover the costs of animal welfare projects, but you can still apply to do vegan advocacy project.
Great, thank you. So if also a question pops out at a later time, you know, from this discussion, many questions may pop up and you want to ask, you can still reach out to me. I'm going to share my email in the chat section. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp. Most of you must have also received an email from me at 4 p.m. East Africa time. You can respond to that with your question. If you also have any other question for Jessica or Melanie, you can still do that. So still have 9 minutes. If you have any question, feel free.
There's a question on YouTube or WhatsApp, I mean, Nabasa.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually 2 things on WhatsApp. Let me go through them. So there is Sheila Omondi. I think it's more of a testimonial. It was like related to the question about breaking the barriers. And so Sheila is targeting young children in schools in her campaigns. And so, they're linking veganism to crop farming. And so teaching the children to grow their own food through kitchen gardening. And so children are feeling more owners about the food they produce and prepare. So I think, that's a great example on how to do local campaigns and especially with young children. And then there is, I don't know if it's a question. So Anna Carité is saying it's also important to promote local options in terms of costs. For example, here in Senegal, soy milk is cheaper than cow's milk. Also, meat and fish are very expensive compared to greens and legumes. So it makes sense for people to switch. So Anna, I don't know if you want to add something to that, or Sheila, if you want to add something to that, but I think these are 2 great examples on how to encourage people to eat more vegetables and more legumes.
Thank you for that, Melanie. Someone asked, is the grant now open to apply? Yes, Lazaro, you can go ahead and apply, like Jessica talked about earlier. You have between now and 1st December, 11:59 p.m. New York time. Francis was asking if they can also bring colleagues around the world, like if they're not African, can they have them to support their campaign? Thus, I think we should begin to use the hashtag in our various social media. Let's have it trending so that when we take it out, it's going to be a hashtag that is already trending. So I want to have a topic that everyone can see is being talked about globally. Wow, that's an amazing contribution, Francis, I must say, especially talking about the hashtag. Our hashtag is #AfricaVeganRestaurantWeek. Indeed, let's start using this hashtag right away. We've been together since the 19th of August, and we've talked about this. We've learned a lot. So if there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want to tweet about, post on Facebook, let's start using the hashtag so that by the time we officially kick off and we are starting to look out for partners, for restaurants, for sponsors, you can already show them that we're already trending. If you click on #Africa Vegan Restaurant Week, they say you're in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Zambia, in Rwanda, you're in Uganda. I think that's an amazing contribution. And then you ask if you can still have colleagues from different parts of the world. I don't know exactly what you try to mean by that question, Francis. If you're trying to mean other funders, I think That's okay. Like Jessica said, sometimes your proposal may be more than $5,000. So feel free to apply to other funders so that you're able to successfully execute your event. If you're asking beyond that, you can still rephrase your question so that I can get it rightly. Oh, you're talking about vegan activists supporting the hashtag. Yes, Francis, that is okay. Because what's for sure is that there are Africans that are in different parts of the world. So it is okay, they can still support it. Even trending globally is, I mean, the better we can, if we can trend beyond Africa, the better. It's the African Vegan Restaurant Week. It's being hosted in Africa. And we already talked about things like vegan food, tourism. Imagine people flying in from different parts of the world to come to Africa, specifically for the Africa Vegan Restaurant Week. That's also okay. Our foods are being sold globally. Also, veganism is growing Africa. It is okay, as long as the most important part of this, or our major goal and outcome, is promoting vegan advocacy on the African continent. But it is also okay to have your colleagues and supporters from different parts of the world to use the hashtag. Thank you so much, Francis. Any other questions? So I've posted the hashtag in the chat section. For anyone that doesn't know it, that's the one we're using. And how about starting right away today after this? You know, this is something you want to talk about. You want to talk about your work. You want to share about your work. You want to share about your previous event. Do it and use the #Africa Vegan Restaurant Week. There's another question, I think, going out to you, Jessica, from Blaze in the chat section. Someone wishes to know if we accept projects oriented in humanitarian emergency programs.
Unfortunately, that's not where our funding is directed. All of our funding and grant opportunities are just for vegan advocacy type of work. So as important as emergency relief is, unfortunately, that's not where our funding, where our grant is going towards.
Oh, great. Thank you. I hope your question has been responded. Any other questions? We have about 4 minutes, so I'm going to give it around 1 minute for more questions, and then we can officially close today's session. Also, as I would like to take a screenshot of us, of all of us in today's meeting. I need your permission to do that because we need. So if you're okay with it, please, you can let me know in the chat section if you're okay with us taking a screenshot of all of you, the participants. And if anyone is not okay with it, that's perfectly fine. You can also let me know in the chat section if you're not okay with it. Great, I can see lots of yeses. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Is that, you wanna make a sign or a vegan sign or anything, you know, with a happy and excited faces? For those that had muted their videos, feel free to unmute and we show the vegan sign. And I just want to take a very beautiful, amazing photo. And if you don't want to be part of this, it's okay. Great, I can see lots of them. Okay, let me take the first one. I don't know if I'm. Great. Okay, let me get this. I'm gonna take about 2. Yeah. Okay, let me take another one. Thanks. I love the beautiful smiles and the V sign.
Yes.
So thank you so much. I think we've reached at the end of our today's session. I would like to say thank you for your questions. Thank you for, oh, sorry. I want to share my screen, but I think, okay. You're seeing a bit of, do you see my screen yet?
Yeah, that's it.
You can see, but it's showing notes and not just your template.
Is this okay now?
No.
You can see my screen.
Yeah, but it's showing your notes.
Oh, my notes. Oh, okay. Okay. I just had to close it. Okay. Well, basically, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being part of this amazing session, for the days and the weeks and the times we have been together. Thank you so much. And we've finally come to the end of our ProVeg Africa Accelerator 2022. And allow me to reintroduce the team that have been working together with on this. Firstly, that is up there is me and Nicola. We are both the Africa Regional Coordinators. And then there's Jessica Ava, ProVeg Grants Program Director, Melanie, the Grants Program Intervention Specialist, and Megna, the Grants Program Coordinator. So thank you so much. Honestly, I wouldn't have done this alone without the amazing ladies that you see here. So thank you so much, team. Thank you so much to my team and all of you guys for being part of this. We have come to an end, and I ask you, please keep in touch with me. That's my email, that's my WhatsApp number, that's also my phone number. You can give me a call and this conversation can continue. We can continue talking. I'm here to offer strategic guidance. When you receive that email with a calendar, I implore you to please schedule a meeting with me so that we are able to discuss this further. So from my and the team, I would like to say bye. I wish you an amazing weekend.
Bye, everyone, and thank you so much for being here.
Bye-bye.